Prince William Kate Middleton work incredibly hard. Future King Queen dedicated duty. Duke's daughter, Lady Violet Manners, says Princess of Wales would be dream guest on Duchess the podcast. Prince William and Princess Kate Middleton are doing a remarkable job in preserving royal traditions and giving a glimpse into the monarchy's future, according to a UK podcast producer. The Prince and Princess of Wales have assumed an increasingly central role in the royal family after the death of Queen Elizabeth II in September. William's father, King Charles III, ascended to the throne upon his mother's death. "We're so lucky to have such an extraordinary family," Lady Violet Manners, daughter of the Duke and Duchess of Rutland and podcast executive producer, told Fox News Digital about the British royals. "The Princess of Wales is a real hero of mine," the 29-year-old said. "I think the work that she and the Prince of Wales do for all the charities that they are involved with is extraordinary. We're very lucky to have them in this country. I think they're remarkable in truth. They work incredibly hard for the charities and organizations that they are involved with. There's a serenity with the work that they do that's so admirable. I remember my boss saying to me, in my first job, you've got to always be a swan on top but like a duck underneath, just sort of paddling away. I think they embody that," Manners said. "They have 3 wonderful children, so it must be a lot to juggle. They've got a wonderful team around them. But I think the work that they do and the charities that they're involved with are exactly what you would hope for the future king and queen of this country to be shining a light on." William, 41, the eldest son of the king, has made protecting the environment for future generations one of his key priorities. In 2020, the prince launched the Earthshot Prize, which aims to discover groundbreaking solutions to repair and regenerate the planet. He is also an advocate to end homelessness and has taken on several charities that address at-risk youth. In June, he launched Homewards, a locally led program that aims to prevent and end homelessness. As for the Princess of Wales, she has devoted her time to supporting several charities that center around early childhood experiences. In 2017, Kate championed Heads Together, a mental health campaign. She has also raised awareness of the importance of physical health and the transformative effects of sports, among others. Manners, who said Kate, 41, would be her dream podcast guest, is executive producer and creative director of Duchess the Podcast, which explores the historic homes of the UK and the women who run them. "There's such a wonderful continuity that's been handed down from generation to generation," she said. "I think they'll be extraordinary when they do become king and queen." Manners' father became the 11th Duke of Rutland in 2001 and inherited Belvoir Castle in Leicestershire, England. "I spent the first 10 years of my life in a village just below Belvoir," Manners said. "And then my grandfather died, which is a very sad and somber moment for everyone. And the next thing we knew, within a year we were told that we were moving into the castle. And I remember thinking, that can't be real." Manners said the idea for a podcast came in 2019 while she was studying business and finance at UCLA. She was inspired by America's fascination with British heritage and wanted to offer an insider's view into the realities of life as an aristocrat in the 21st century. Video. There was also the Bridgerton effect, following the hit Netflix show based on the Regency-era book series by Julia Quinn. "So many historic homes have all seen the impact of Bridgerton in their numbers," Manners said. Belvoir, located in the English countryside, has more than 365 rooms and came with £12 million, almost $15.5 million, of inheritance taxes, the New York Times reported. Manners' mother, Emma, Duchess of Rutland, told the outlet that the castle also had battalions of rats and staff who clearly preferred the former incumbents to us. Manners said that the mother of 5 was always keen that her children wouldn't be sitting pretty behind grand doors. She recalled working as a tour guide during the summers and sharing her home with curious tourists from around the globe. "From the age of 10, I was working in the cafe with the amazing team that was there at the time," Manners said. Wendy, someone who works at Belvoir still nearly 30 years later, remembers all of us in the cafe not being particularly good behind the till because we would accidentally give people back the wrong change. But Mum was always determined that we very much understood from the very beginning just how much work it takes to run places like this. Manners recalled having to pull out dead birds that would cause flooding during wintry nights. She was 12. Belvoir's beautiful, all of these places are beautiful, she said. But it's funny, they've all got flat roofs, which is a nightmare because it means that the piping is very awkward and difficult. And it means that you're often getting dead pigeons stuck in the roof, which means that you have flooding. View this post on Instagram, a post shared by Belvoir Castle, at Belvoir Castle. I just remember Mum saying, "Girls, get your wellies on, we're going to the roof," Manners continued. It was chucking it down with rain, but we had found all these floods happening throughout the castle. I just remember Mum taking us up to the roof. We were having to put our hands, because we had the smallest hands, into the gutter and pull out the dead pigeons. The Duchess has insisted that Belvoir is inhabited by ghosts. The castle's history dates to the 11th century. According to the property's website, the land at Belvoir was a gift from William the Conqueror to the family's first recorded ancestor, Robert de Todini. Listen, a lot of people don't believe in ghosts, and I can understand why, Manners chuckled. But there's definitely some energy rocking around these kinds of places. And if you listen to the podcast, you'll find out that's a consistent theme across these homes. Visitors have seen them, guides have seen time. But they're all very friendly, really. According to the New York Times, about 1/3 of historic homes in the UK are in the care of conservation charities like the National Trust and English Heritage. But some properties like Belvoir are in private hands. Ben Cowell, the Director General of Historic Houses, told the outlet that some homes were knocked down after World War II because owners couldn't financially maintain them. The Duke and Duchess of Rutland are legally separated and have lived in different wings since 2012, the outlet reported. The home costs about £1 million, $1,276,731 million, to run, it noted. I wanted to change the narrative around historic homes, Manners said. I think the wonderful period dramas that we all love to watch paint a picture of living in heritage that's set in a very different time. The reality is it's a lot of work. And there is no government support or funding, and nor should there be. So, it does require an enormous amount of upkeep and innovation. Any money that the government is choosing to spend on the cost of living crisis and the housing crisis, in the UK, is not taken away by these estates, Manners said. But, of course, we've received criticism and, frankly, I get it. It's an unusual predicament to be born into something like this. But I have to say the humility that exists within the community of these families that own these places is enormous. And no one is under any illusion that they aren't in an extraordinary position. But equally, they play a vital role. In my view, as custodians of these extraordinary estates across the country. Because at the end of the day, heritage tourism is a huge part of the UK's economic climate and a huge incentive for people to come to this country. I fully understand the criticism that many others like me in this country have received, she continued. But I ultimately think the roles these families are taking on are incredible. They're looking after land that would otherwise be in disrepute. Everyone plays their part in taking care of the landscapes we all get to enjoy. Belvoir has gone on to serve as a stand-in for Windsor Castle in The Crown. It has also been featured in films like The Da Vinci Code and The Young Victoria. The podcast's new series, launching on August 17th, will highlight custodians presenting individual episodes. The first guest is the Countess of Derby. I've had an incredible life, said Manners. I now want to shine a spotlight on the many people who have dedicated their lives to working in these places.